What's up, everyone? So it is now October 1st. So I haven't uploaded a video for Monday's trade, so I'm going to go over that today. I haven't uploaded a video for Tuesday's trade, so I'm going to upload that today as well. And of course, we're going to go ahead and cover today's trade as well. I've been really, really busy, so I haven't gotten the chance to upload any videos, but should be able to cover all of them really quickly. So yeah, we had one winning day on Monday. Tuesday could have been a winning day, but unfortunately, I took another trade after taking one winning trade. And not only did I get stopped out, I pushed back my stop loss, which is a terrible, terrible thing. So I didn't follow my game plan, so I pretty much gave all my profits back. So I had a break-even day. And then today, as you guys know and saw on my Instagram story, we had a green day, which honestly I had a bunch of FOMO because I closed out my position. I closed out my position at around 160%, which is super, super good. But if I would have held it for the whole day, I would have gone like 600% out of it. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and review them. So, the first trade that I took was obviously on Monday after Friday, because obviously stock markets closed on Saturday and Sunday. And what I ended up taking was QQQ puts. And let me confirm, but I believe I took 600 puts. Let's see here. So, on 29. So yeah, September 29th, I took order by where do you go? Yeah, I took 5999, sorry, 599 puts. And that was on Monday. So this was my pretty much what I ended up doing. So in the morning we saw a push up from open, um, which was expected to be quite honest with you, because we saw a rally pre-market and after hours. So I was expecting that in the morning. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and see how the market reacts to that. And I was thinking if we could possibly catch some longs if we break above this 601 level, which we had previously rejected. So there was obviously a ton of sellers here. So I was like, if the buyers can take out the sellers at this level, we can try and catch some calls. But as you guys saw, we were rejected at this level here. I use our fair value gap that is uh, right here. So this is the fair value gap that you guys see marked out. I use that fair value gap. Oh shit, right there. I use that fair value gap here, and as you can see, we rejected it again. I could have used that as an entry point, but I was like, let me actually wait for it to create another fair value gap and then actually reject it. And I only decided to do that because we obviously had this huge rally before. So I was a little bit nervous that we were just going to push down a little bit and then continue the rally back up. But as you guys can see here, we rejected on that fair value gap, created a new one here. So once again, the fair value gap is just using three candles, which is one, two, three, taking the top part of, sorry, the bottom of one, which would be that one there. So this bottom, and the top part of the third one, which would be this one here. So this is a fair value gap here. So once we created that, I was like, okay, let's see if we push up above it, then my play would have been invalidated. But thankfully, we rejected perfectly, and I went ahead and entered puts here. So as you guys saw, boom, immediately after entering those puts, we came crashing down all the way from 601 down to around 599.42. So that was actually my take profit here. So I went ahead and exited and called it a day. So super, super solid trade. Again, we did have a push up and then just continue back down. So I got a little bit of FOMO. I wanted to join back in, but I was like, okay, let's just call it one trade for the day and call it. It was a green trade, so why risk more money looking for more money? Take your profits usually if you catch a good trade at the beginning of the day, exactly how you want it, just go ahead and take it and run with it. So yeah, that was my trade on Monday. Like I said, had a green trade. So let's go ahead and go over the trade that I took on Tuesday. So this was Tuesday here. And honestly, Tuesday we had a super, super choppy day. The price action was honestly terrible in my opinion. Um, so realistically, I should have known to walk away after my first green trade, but of course, I wanted to get more profits and I ended up having a break even day. So let's go ahead and go over it. Right off of market open, we saw a huge drop and then just a bunch of chops. So it's a good thing I didn't join puts because I honestly wanted to, but I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and wait a little bit and see how the market reacts because I'm always super, super skeptical about joining trades like within the first like 20 to 30 minutes of market open, just because sometimes we have these huge moves here, like we see here, a bunch of chop and then a big move right after. So it's like, I don't want to get caught in that chop there. So it's a good thing I waited because it's exactly what happened here. So we created a fair value gap. Let's see which fair value gap. We created a fair value gap right here. So I believe this is the one that I used. Yeah, yes, this was the one. So we created a fair, was it? No. The one that I used was, I believe, this. Yeah, it was this. No, I'm sorry, guys. This is why it's good to do the videos right after, but still, I'm gonna try and get them uploaded and just catch up on the days that I missed because, like I said, I was just super, super busy. But yeah, so we saw that push down at market open, and then immediately we just saw some chops. So once we created this fair value gap here, same thing. I was like, okay, let's wait for us to either reject and continue the downtrend, and maybe we could catch some puts. Or if we hold, I'm gonna go ahead and look to take some longs. But honestly, I was hoping for longs, so I was really, really just patient with this one. And finally, we saw after some consolidation, we saw these two candles here immediately pop right back up after this one. And I was like, okay, let me enter some calls and see if we can catch that move to the upside. So I entered calls and let's see which one it was. September 30th. So I entered 600 calls and this was around 597.58. Um, so yeah, I entered 600 calls and I had 10 of them. So that was my entry here. And then we pushed all the way up to 599, which we saw some previous resistance here. So I ended up exiting my trade and I was in green for the day. I was super, super happy with my profits because I went in pretty heavy. So like I said, I bought 10 contracts. Um, so I ended up closing out that position and immediately we saw that push all the way back down to where we were chopping previously. And once we saw that move back down, I should have just called it a day. Um, because I was like, maybe we're just gonna chop again. But oh my God. But we ended up holding that level that we previously bounced off super, super heavy. So I was like, okay, let me try this again. Pretty much try and catch the same play, but maybe this time we'll break past this resistance level here. Um, and yeah, hopefully we can catch some more profits. So I ended up entering at around the same level. So I entered around here. Um, and unfortunately, I went in pretty heavy again. And we got a good push up. So I was like, yes, we're going to keep going. Immediately rejected from that level. And not only did I come down to my stop loss, I ended up moving my stop loss more down. So I ended up pretty much breaking even for the day. So yeah, that's why it's for one, it's not good to move your stop loss because I could have still secured some profits, but unfortunately I broke even for the day. And then if you guys see right after, if I would have been patient, if you guys see what happened right after, we came down to retest this level here, which we had done in the morning, and we ended up getting that push that I was looking for all the way back up to a previous resistance level. So super frustrating day, honestly. It was a tough one yesterday, especially after going on a 7-day winning streak. It was very, very tough to take that loss, but thankfully I called it a day, so I didn't end up really losing any money, but a break-even day was pretty, pretty sad, especially after already having made some money. Alrighty, so far I've covered Monday's trade, I've covered Tuesday's trade, and let's go ahead and cover today's trade. So today's trade was a super, super solid trade. I actually got a chance to upload it on my Instagram stories. So if you guys joined at the time that I posted it, you would have been able to catch a super, super solid trade. So let's go ahead and go over it. Ugh. So the trade that I ended up taking was some QQQ calls. And the reason why I took those calls was because I noticed that we started following these trend lines here. So I was like, okay, we rejected here, came all the way back down pre-market, and then started pushing up after hours. So you can see those trend line starts here, goes all the way here. We perfectly hit this and then started pushing up. So I was like, okay, maybe we could catch some calls to the upside. And then I noticed we reclaimed our previous fair value gap that was being used as support. So that was an even bigger indicator that we were going to continue moving up to the upside. And then pre-market here, as you guys can see, we retested that level that level that we previously were using as support again, and we immediately pushed back up. So I was like, okay, buyers are clearly present here, so we can probably catch some calls. Let's just wait for the market to open and tell us what to do. So as you guys can see, right off of market open, came down again, retested that fair value gap, and immediately we saw a ton of buyers push us all the way back up from 597 up to 599 where we rejected. Again, the reason why I didn't join when we reclaimed this here was because I was like, it's only been 3 minutes since market open. The last thing I want to do is take some calls and then we just push right back down, which is exactly what happened. Again, I usually try and wait anywhere from 25 to 30 minutes to take my first trade. So again, that actually paid off today. So we came down, retested this level here. We saw a ton of buyers pop back up, which honestly I was shocked after this rejection here. I was like, we've rejected from there so many times. There's a possibility that we're going to go ahead and go for new lows, and we didn't. So we retested this level, pushed back up, came down, and retested this fair value gap, which immediately was started being used as support, as we can see by the following candle. So once we broke out here, I was like, okay, it's been 30 minutes since market open. We're holding our fair value gap that was previously being used as support. Let's go ahead and enter some longs and see what we can catch here. So I went ahead and entered longs here, immediately getting a push up right after and then another retest, which would have been good for another entry point if you didn't get in at my initial entry, and then immediately just pop back up. So I did end up closing my trade at around this 600, yeah, around the 600 level because there was a ton of buyers present previously here. So I was like, there's a possibility we reject and come down back down. So I went ahead and secured my profits, which was really nice because I made up for yesterday. I was able to make all the money back that I gave back and some profits for today. So that's why it's really, really good not to get discouraged or unmotivated by taking losses because this was a perfect example of me breaking that winning streak and then immediately just continuing it right after. I did get a ton of FOMO today. I wanted to join back. I wanted to join the play again so bad, just because as you can see, we rejected, came back up, rejected again, and then pushed back up. But I was like, what are the possibilities that we build a head and shoulders, which is pretty much head, shoulder, shoulder, and then just come all the way back down here. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. We just pushed right back up and ripped all the way up to 603, which we are now seeing some resistance at. So crazy, crazy day. If I would have held that play from my entry point, which was way down here, if I would have caught about a $5 move, which in stock options, a $5 move is literally like 700% return. So if you would have invested $1,000, you would have made $7,000, and that's in a single day. So I was pretty upset. Honestly, I was honestly pretty irritated for the rest of the trading day once I closed out my trade. But these are the situations where you have to stick to your game plan. You have to stick to your risk management. And although I could have made more money, it's good that I stuck to my plan, secured my profits because there's always going to be another trading day tomorrow. So, all right, you guys.